So don't be a nickel out here looking for a dime, okay? Because that's real ghetto. Hey y'all, it's your girl Tynisha Renee here. Welcome back or welcome to my channel if you're visiting for the first time. This is TynishaTalks, where we normalize transparency and have difficult conversations. Today's video is sort of a follow-up to my last video, so if you have not seen that video, I have linked it up top. Please make sure you watch that for context. In a nutshell, we discuss how fatherlessness impacts Black women when it comes to perfectionism and hyper-focusing on your career goals. Well, I got some pretty interesting comments and it was really an insightful discussion. I also received DMs from women who have a different perspective, and that perspective is that they focus on their career because they want to be an example for their loved ones. But anyway, this video is not focused on fatherlessness. I was curious to dive into the dynamic of Black women choosing careers over love specifically, not just happiness or prioritizing their careers over other aspects of life. There seems to have been some sort of shift that I find really interesting. In the early 2000s, there was a glorification of the independent woman in Black culture, and that came from both men and women. But nowadays, it seems that the independent Black woman is frowned upon, as we see discussed in popular Manosphere platforms. Now, I will say this right off rip, I don't think that a Black woman being independent is a problem in itself. But the common sentiment is that Black women develop this viewpoint that independence means not needing a man at all. And baby, that is not what independence is supposed to be. When you're independent, you don't need a man to feel complete, but that shouldn't minimize the role of a man in your relationships. I know someone out there is gonna feel that. So, me being me, very inquisitive and such, I did a few polls on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube to gauge viewpoints on Black women choosing their careers over love. Over half of respondents felt like Black women choose careers over love. That's a lot. I specifically decided to ask women what their choice would be, and here were the results. As you can see, it was almost 50-50. Not most women pursuing careers as most people think. But that wasn't surprising to me, okay? As a Black woman, I definitely get being misunderstood, and there are a lot of women who want to be mothers, want to have relationships, want to have a family dynamic, even though we're stereotyped as not wanting to have any of those nowadays. What was surprising to me was the feedback that I got from men. I decided to ask men what they prefer in women. Option A was to pick a woman who is extremely goal-oriented, career-driven, ambitious. Typically, the modern woman that everyone describes is not really focusing on men or relationships. Option B was a woman who isn't really career-driven, but she's extremely feminine, okay? And this is what they said, child. Surprisingly, men prefer ambition over femininity, despite the common sentiment that women aren't feminine enough and, quote unquote, degrees don't matter. All right, let's unpack, y'all. What is the takeaway here? People are confused. These polls were very telling because it gives you an idea what people truly value in relationships. Now, obviously, our perfect person would have a combination of these things, so that is going to be what people's top choice was. But when it came down to picking one option, I was really surprised that more men didn't go with the feminine side of things. So I want y'all to ponder with me for a second. Now, one thing to keep in mind are the demographics of the men who responded to this poll. These are likely going to be Black men who are in their mid to late 20s or early 30s. Statistics show that these men, on average, because we know it's exceptions, okay, I know y'all out here getting money, I'm not saying that, but on average, these men have not reached their full earning potential yet. Therefore, things that they look for in women are going to be a lot different than men who really have the money flowing. Now, I know that some of y'all won't like this, but let's discuss the high value man for a second. These are men who are leaders, career-driven, ambitious, top earners. These men have grinded and established themselves on their own. Therefore, they won't be as moved by a woman who leads with her ambition and is less feminine. And please note that this is generally speaking, okay? I'm sure that there are high-value men out there who might really want a woman who is a boss and don't care if she carries more masculine energy. But on average, as a matter of fact, I'm gonna let y'all talk about that in the comments. Do y'all think that high value men, so the men who are top earners, they're very career driven, they're already established, do you think that they also look for women who are ambitious? Or do you think they just want a woman who brings that nurturing feminine energy to the table? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Just think about it. They already have large amounts of money coming in or large amounts of success, and that's stressful. It's a lot of pressure to maintain that. Therefore, when they're looking for a partner, they want someone to alleviate that stress. And this is where femininity comes in. And just for clarification, femininity is being kind, nurturing, caring, motivating, encouraging. Overall, you are just providing peace. Now hold that thought. Statistics show that women who are highly educated and have higher income also prefer men who are highly educated and have higher income. This is one of the reasons why successful Black women have such a hard time finding a partner who they feel is on the same caliber as them. The other reason? Femininity, or lack thereof. Now, there is no doubt about it that there are Black women out there who are successful and also very feminine, okay? Balance is everything. But I question if those are the women who are still single, though. No shade, because I'm single. But if you are a single, successful Black woman struggling to find love, I'm gonna let you answer that for yourself. Women who are career-driven, independent, and successful may in turn be less dependent on men, may see less value in men, or have a I can do bad by myself type of mentality. And that leads to being seen as masculine. The issue with this is that these are the women who are seeking high-value men, like we said earlier. But those men don't want masculine energy. When they come home from a long day of work or a work trip or whatever the case may be, they want someone who can embody that feminine energy. So there is a clear disconnect there. I know what y'all gonna say. I feel like somebody's gonna say this in the comments because I've said it before myself. If the right man comes along, then I could be more feminine. Sis, be real with yourself, because if you live your life 24/7 being in a state of masculinity, that's the way that you're used to being, it's not going to be easy to completely turn that off. Let's just be real. And the men who might be more willing to accept this type of energy are probably being overlooked because they might not be as established as women want them to be. So what do y'all make of this? For me, the key takeaway is that we really need to take a hard and long look at the type of people that we want to attract and make sure that we're moving in a way that is attractive to those people. And I made this realization a while ago that if I embody mostly masculine energy, it's gonna be hard for me to say that I want an alpha male, because then we both are carrying masculine energies and that's gonna cause friction in the relationship. There was a comment that someone left on Facebook that I think summed this up perfectly.
I am an extremely driven person myself in a high-stakes career. I admittedly don't always know how to turn that off when I get home, so having a feminine presence helps me disconnect. Plus, a lot of the characteristics that come with being very ambitious, high-paced, competitive, leadership, less agreeable, etc., don't always balance well in the home environment and can be a headache when both share those traits, because someone has to lead at the end of the day. I'm choosing a life partner, not a business partner.
But it's not only the women, it's not only the women's, okay? Men who might not be as ambitious, or they might not be in the tax bracket that successful and ambitious women want, they are also seeking out ambitious women. So it's like we both are equally seeking out people who might not fit. Also, another takeaway that I hope that everyone got from this video is that Black women are truly negatively stigmatized as being overly independent, again, not needing a man, not wanting to be traditional women and raise a family. But there are a lot of Black women out there who actually do want that just as much as they want to have a successful career. All right, y'all, well, I'm about to hop off this. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I really want to know you guys' opinions on us wanting a certain type of person, but not moving in a way to attract those type of people. At the end of the day, I think that a lot of women, Black women specifically, because we seem to be the ones who struggle with this whole dynamic of submission and embodying femininity, just understanding that if you want a man who is very successful and at the top of the corporate ladder and has all this money, he's probably going to want you to be a little bit more softer. You don't necessarily have to have that tough exterior all the time. So that's definitely a takeaway that I'm applying for myself. And the men out there, the ones who love to be on these Manosphere platforms bashing women, saying women don't want them, so on and so forth, it could be because you're gunning for a type of woman who doesn't necessarily think you are the best fit. I try to say that in the nicest way possible. So don't overlook the women who have other qualities, just like I don't want us to overlook with y'all. In a nutshell, don't be a nickel out here looking for a dime, okay? Because that's real ghetto. Think of who you want, think of what you want, and put out the appropriate vibrations so that you can attract that type of happiness and abundance, okay? Woo! And if you were new here and you still made it to the end of this video, you might as well just hit the subscribe button because I know that you're feeling the vibe. It's free 99 and it helps your girl out a lot. But as always, stay safe, stay blessed, and until next time, y'all, bye!